Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Besom OP2700. This is a offset pivot from Besom. It's used on their swinging doors, is the bottom line. Besom does not manufacture pivots, but this is from an OEM partner of theirs, obviously. This is what the pivot set will look like. We are going to look at each of the components individually. Here's the screw pack. It's pretty typical. You're going to have hex head machine bolts for attaching the door portions and the header portion to the aluminum storefront. Then you're going to have the plastic anchors and the sheet metal screws for attaching the floor portion down to the sill, is the bottom line. So you're looking at this. Why are you looking at this piece of product? We'll talk about that in a moment. Let's go over the basic dimensional properties of this. Let's start from the bottom up. Here's the floor plate. Overall length, about 3 inch. Overall width, about 1 inch and 9/16. From the back side to the center of each hole, looks like it's about 3/8, and then at about 1 inch and 1/16. Okay. Then we have the door portion. That's going to sit on top of the floor portion. Overall height, about 1 3/4 inches. Overall width, about 1 3/8, with a projection of about 1 1/4 inches. From the top of the unit down to the first screw, about 5/16, then down to about 1 1/8 inches. Then we have the door portion moving up, the door portion moving up. Yeah, here it is. This is what you're going to see as you look up. Overall width, about 2 1/8 inches. Overall projection, I should say. Well, overall projection is going to be like this, about 1 1/4 inches. The width, about 1 5/16 inches or so. Holding the tape measure on one end, we can see that the outside screws are about 3/16, and then maybe about 15/16, with that middle screw coming in right at about 9/16. Then we have the, I said that wrong. This is the header portion. That's the header portion. That's what it's going to look like. I was holding it upside down before. That's the header portion. Forgive me. Okay. How you're going to operate that is you're just going to get that pin depressed. You're going to work a tool there as you snap the door in place to get it depressed and then snap it in place like that. Forgive me, that's clearly not how that goes. So then we have the door portion. It's going to have the same dimensional properties as the bottom block. Okay, and all that I'm going to show you here is that spring-loaded pin that's there. Okay. Now, why are you looking at this item? Why might be that case that you're looking for this OP2700 from Besom? Let's talk about that now. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. It's quite likely the reason you're looking at this is because you need a replacement pivot. What's really interesting to me is that the highest volume doors in a, let's say, a retail setting, whether it be a coffee shop or you know, some sort of strip mall aluminum storefront, in, you know, glass aluminum storefront entry, has these pivots on them, and they are the most inexpensive hardware on doors, hanging the door on the door that gets the most volume of use. No contest. Hands down the most volume. And it's the cheapest piece of equipment on that entire door, when in fact it ought to be the most robust, and it's just not. So you're likely looking at this because what you have has just simply worn out, given up the ghost, and needs to be replaced. And it's because it's an expensive piece of hardware. There's no doubt that there are higher quality pivots that are available when you're doing this new. And then, of course, continuous geared aluminum hinges would be a superior option to this as well. They do get loose. They do, you know, wear out is just simply the bottom line. Hundreds of thousands of cycles, things are simply going to wear out. That's probably why you're looking at this. That's why I went over all of the dimensional properties so you can compare to what you have. And this would be on their Besom doors. This is also known as an arch style door, and that arch was an aluminum storefront manufacturer. And if the pivot set that you have dimensionally equals and is exactly this, then you're done. You're in good shape. You can adjust this bottom portion. I did not give you the height of that, by the way. That base height is about 5/8. That is a threaded stud that's there. You can loosen that set screw, and you can turn that out to lift that door up ever so slightly. You don't have a lot of adjustment, but you do have a small amount. A couple of set screws are here as well, and I'm going to say that that would, in essence, allow you to also adjust that door ever so slightly. Not a lot, but it would give you the ability to lift that up by maybe 1/4 inch. Not that you're going to want to tip that forward, but should you have to, meaning should you have to build, I've seen pivots installed built up, you could run those 2 set screws down to give you stability over here. You'd run a block, depending on how you're going to install this, you might need something out here coming down a little bit further. Generally, people don't end up employing these, and this sits right down onto the unit. And this is used when you really don't have a threshold in play. When you have a threshold in play, what you'll end up seeing are pivots, the stud removed, a hole drilled in the threshold itself, and then that nut is holding the spindle, the bottom stud, I should say, in the threshold itself, then the door sits on top of that entire apparatus. This is used when you're not seeing that sort of application. This is non-handed because it just can be installed on this side of the door or on this side of the door. Again, your top pivot assembly is going to look like this. This is going to come available in either the aluminum or dark bronze finish. Extremely typical and common, and there's no doubt that you're going to be able to, that you will notice this pivot from countless other suppliers of pivot hardware and imported builders hardware, namely storefront hardware as well. Besom is obviously manufacturing their doors, and hardware to someone like Besom is just a means to an end. They require hardware for producing this material, so they're ending up sourcing whatever they need for their door applications. Let's stop, let's switch to the screen view and just take a closer look at some supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Here is the item that we are looking at. Let's take a look at some images that we have posted down below. Here's everything that you're going to get. The bottom, the floor portion of the bottom pivot, the door portion of the bottom pivot, the door portion of the top pivot, and then the header portion, then showing you the underside of it as well. Then your screw package is here. There's also an exploded, there's a parts drawing here that you're going to see if you are from the industry and you have worked on lots of doors, aluminum doors, especially with pivots. This drawing might be familiar to you. There's a link below this video as seen here to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Besom products that we sell by means of this horizontal navigation here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to several encyclopedic documents that are here, owner's manuals, wiring diagrams, things of that nature. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Now, the name Besom is quite synonymous with automatic storefront material. They are owned by ASSA ABLOY. That is a multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporation that owns probably dozens of businesses involved in the construction industry. We are direct distributors of several and many of their companies. Not directly related to Besom, but in the same fold, so to speak. Very common that you're going to bump into Besom. There's no doubt about that. So if you have any questions on the OP2700 pivot under the Besom name or any other Besom product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. let's move on to the rest of the video. Again, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.